Norway is doing something really cool. And if you're not in BIM, maybe you didn't know, but I didn't know that Norway is actually mandating the use of 3D modeling as well as digital twins in their construction projects. So what does that mean? Well, let me tell you a story. I was recently at a project controls conference called Western Winter Workshop, and one of the keynotes had worked on this large highway infrastructure project in Norway where they were mandated by the government to actually use 3D modeling, 3D technology, BIM, as well as to build a digital twin of the highway, the bridges, the tunnels, all of the pieces of this infrastructure project.
Digitalization of the construction site was a clear requirement from the owner and contractor.
We decided really early that all discipline would actually do their design in 3D, and we would collect all this in one multidisciplinary model that everyone would have access to.
So I learned that a digital twin is a digital model that is updated constantly throughout the project's execution, but then it's kept current afterwards as well. So as a scheduler, I don't get involved too much in 3D modeling or some of the really cool technologies that's happening in the BIM space. And to me, this is really interesting because it helps us solve a big problem that we have. I want you guys to think about as-builts. Really, if you think about scheduling, schedules are meant to be digital twins of the execution. But when we start talking about BIM and 3D stuff, we have a problem with as-built drawings. As-built drawings are one of the deliverables that companies have to give at the end of the project that show exactly how this design was implemented in the ground, if there were any changes and whatnot. But because they're one of the last deliverables from a contractor, they don't get a lot of attention, and in fact, sometimes they're very shoddily done or not done at all. Now, this causes problems for the next iteration of the project. If we want to build on top of what we already had, we need to reference these as-builts, and if they are not updated, we have some big problems. Then we have to spend all this time. We might have to dig, we might have to survey, we might have to get LiDAR and figure out what's in the ground. There's a May 2021 report by Ernst & Young that predicts that digital twins used in construction can actually reduce energy consumption of the asset by up to 50% and operating costs by up to 35%. Why aren't we doing these things? It boggles my mind. So obviously places like Norway are well aware of these benefits and they want to have these cost savings at hand. That's why they're using digital twins on many of their large infrastructure projects, and it took a momentous amount of energy at a governmental level to mandate it and to change rules and change laws so that it actually happens. So digital twins can stay alive by gathering data, collecting data from all sorts of live sources. Drones, the use of drones in construction, 3D scanning, the import of large pieces of data to inform a model. So this is an example. This is a small build that's just happening behind our office, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be no 3D model available for this one. But like a lot of construction projects, this one has been troubled. It has started and stopped, and I believe they have changed ownership throughout. And you can imagine how that also might impact, like, what are those as-built drawings going to look like? Did anything get handed over? What does that process look like? So what is it going to take for us to get 3D models and BIM and digital twins mandated on our projects? What's it going to take to get these things mandated where you live, where you're doing your projects? I want to know, what's your opinion? Do we want these things now? Are they going to be a cumbersome problem to you? Are we ready for this? Leave us a comment below. I'd love to hear your opinion on digital twins, 3D models, and even as-built drawings. See you again soon.